Welcome to this presentation of UPSL Soccer Action, live on YouTube and presented by the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Fantastic Super Saturday UPSL Georgia Conference Soccer here at Shiloh Stadium. Week 3 of the UPSL Georgia Conference Premier Division action. It's SSL FC versus North Georgia United, and it's next on ASMG TV. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Charlie Jordan Field here in Snellville, Georgia, for this UPSL Georgia Conference Premier Division action between SSL FC and North Georgia United. Larry Weaver bringing you all the highlights. Before we get kicked off, Danny Catula will be here in just a few minutes to give you all the action. Going to get you caught up on everything that's happened so far. We look at week 2 of the UPSL Georgia Premier Division action. Over at Silverbacks Park, it was a 2-2 draw between FC Atlanta and UMAFC. FC Birmingham with a fantastic win on the road against Atlanta United Academy 2-0. Atlanta City FC fall in their home opener to Dalton United 4-1. Georgia Athletic with a gutsy win against SSL FC last Sunday 1-0. We brought you that coverage. Potros FC with a fantastic win over Kalanji Pro Profile 3-1. We'll see Kalanji Pro Profile in our doubleheader, and North Georgia United not able to hold off Legends FC. They pull out a late winner 3-2. That's all the scores from last week. We look at the table from last week. Potros FC at the top of the table with 6 points. Georgia Athletic just right behind them. Goal differential right there. Only thing that difference, Legends FC, they find themselves over top Atlanta United, FC Birmingham, Georgia Revolution, and Dalton United. They hold the rest of the playoff spots. Kalanji Pro Profile, UMAFC, and FC Atlanta, Atlanta City, they're all in that bubble space. Expect them to make their way up the table as this goes on week to week. Right now, the two teams in the relegation spot, somewhere where SSL FC is not been known to be. They're usually at the top of the table. They find themselves after 2 losses at the bottom of the table in the relegation spot, along with North Georgia United, their competition for this match. So both of these teams need something in the result for today's match. We look at today's matches and the rest of the weekend's matches. SSL FC getting ready to take on North Georgia United. Dalton United FC, they'll be taking on Legends FC up in Dalton Stadium. UMAFC, they're going all the way to Montgomery, Alabama to take on Potros FC. Georgia Revolution, they'll be taking on FC Atlanta down at Warhawk Stadium. Atlanta City FC, you'll see that coverage on ASMG TV, as well as they take on FC Birmingham over at Duluth High School at 7:30. And our second match of today, Kalanji Pro Profile versus Georgia Athletic SC. Those are the matches for this weekend. We'll be back in just a few moments for the opening ceremonies, and then we will kick off this setup for SSL FC and North Georgia United. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Hey, Coach, is your game going to be live streamed? Can't find a broadcast partner? I have the solution for you. It's time to contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. The Atlantic Soccer Media Group will provide you with the most extensive live coverage and affordable rates to bring your club's matches to your fans, so they will never miss any of the action.
Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! They go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures.
And bring them along with you as you raise the trophy.
Gentlemen, say it with them. They are the champions.
So what are you waiting for the best and easiest coverage, national exposure, attract sponsors, interact with your fans, work with scouts from around the world? Contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
And welcome back to UPSL Georgia Premier Division action right here on ASMG TV. Larry, we were getting you caught up for everything that is coming for you here between SSL FC and North Georgia United. We'll take a look at the starting lineups for both teams here real quick. Take a look at North Georgia United's lineup. A little bit of a change. Late scratch for Emmanuel Lom. He is out. You look at the starting 11. Keep an eye on number 9, Victor Valencia, as well as Christian Sanchez, number 13, Elvin Palacios up on top. Those are your starting 11 for North Georgia United. Look at the substitutes that are coming as well. Number 22, Jesus Grimaldo, another big name for North Georgia United. We take a look at the starting 11 for SSLFC, names that we're normally used to seeing: Balde, Jallo, Ochoa, Oyamba, and the Psalm crew. Look at the substitutes for SSLFC. Still trying to get those numbers for SSL. But that gives us an opportunity to step away for the opening ceremonies, and then you will get the call from Danny Catula in just a moment.
It is a fantastic Saturday afternoon, certainly a great day for some Saturday soccer. Danny Cachula with you all. Compliments of Larry Weaver and everybody at ASMG TV. It is almost time. We have set the stage for a relegation battle that just doesn't feel like one. Two teams, as aforementioned, that don't typically find themselves in this situation. There on your screen, you see the black with white numbers, trim, and all of that. That is SSL FC, part of the Kalangji Pro Profile group of teams. And they play host here at Shiloh High School to the boys in pink. You see them on your screen now. That's North Georgia United coming all the way from Calhoun. They've made a pretty long trip down here to Snellville, 74 degrees. And it's a windy one. It's been windy really all week long. Gusts of about 25 miles per hour at their height. And, well, let's give you one more look at who we will see on the pitch between these two sides. For SSL, the home side, and goal Mauricio Uribe is the goalkeeper. In front of him, Madu Jallo and Fabrice Seke are the outside backs. Joe Balde and John Cante are in center defense. Daniel Ozigbe and Mauricio Ochoa are defensive midfielders. Joseph Oyombo, more attacking option. Jake Sam and Chilestic Chipumbe are the outside wingers. Anani Costa wears the 9, and he is the striker. For North Georgia United, it's Jose Mendiola as the goalkeeper. Isaiah Ledesma, Obina Oroconquo, and Juan Carlos Sanchez, the defenders. We are underway in the meantime as SSL kicks off. Defensive backs are Victor Valencia and Ivan Garnica. They are the wing backs today, so we'll see if it's truly a 5-back lineup or if those wing backs get forward a little bit more and act more like midfielders. The true midfielders today, defensive option is Cristian Sanchez. Leonardo Adrianza is the box-to-box man of the three, and Miguel Piersanti, the attacking point of that triangle. A chance down this right wing. What could come of this for North Georgia United? Again, they're in the pink. And it is really a slick look for the visitors from up in the northern portion of the state today. Snellville a little bit closer into Atlanta and much more east. Calhoun, about a straight shot north, maybe a little northwest, you could say. Hour and a half or so. Depends on the traffic, of course, coming down I-75. And they have made a pretty decent trip to get down there. They are, of course, left without any points thus far. Neither team has one in this encounter. SSL, more or less the second team of Kalangji Pro Profile. See a lot of really talented guys, especially youngsters, guys who will certainly want to prove they deserve a spot in the Kalangji Pro Profile team. They'll be awfully motivated, you would feel, with a lot to play for. North Georgia United representing the northern portion of the state, as previously mentioned. In Calhoun, they've also played home matches in Dalton from time to time. We restart with an early free kick. Despite being a second team of sorts, SSL, which, well, they're going to be on the ball. We'll go back to their name in a minute. How about this? Could be a one-on-one opportunity, but excellent defending by the center back. It won't matter. The opener on a really strange goalkeeping area, I have to say. That one felt entirely unavoidable, and you feel for the center back. It was excellent defending to cut off a breakaway, but no matter. It's still 1-0 for SSL. They will be happy to grab that opener any way they can get it. Make no mistake about it, but we'll see it one more time on this replay. Still trying to process exactly what took place, and it's a defensive error in the first place. But you have to feel somebody should be getting on that, because it was nice work to kind of make up for the mistake. Shoulder the player off the ball. To me, on that replay, it looked like it was Okoronkwo. Big number 18, the center back. He lost the ball from about this position. He'll have to think a little bit harder about this one. And he does make the play successfully that time, twice in a row, actually. But he did a great job to track back and just about make up for it. But In the end, the shot found its way through anyway, and we are still, as Larry Weaver mentioned for us, lacking numbers. So we unfortunately can't tell you exactly who scored the opener, but we are working on that. We will let you know. But something we can let you know of right now, the statistical team at ASMG TV, also known as Larry Weaver himself, informing us it's the first goal for SSL in over 180 minutes of play. They scored in every single match this season ago, and well, this is the first match now, their first try in 3, where they can say that they've scored a goal. I think that attacking component just really helps a team's confidence. For North Georgia, though, of course, all is not lost. We're over 4 minutes in, and I don't think they can feel too disappointed about the way that they've started, except for just that one singular blunder. It is the Premier Division of UPSL Georgia. Clubs will make you pay for those sorts of blunders, and SSL has certainly done so. So 1-0 is the scoreline. Unknown identity once more of the goal scorer. We apologize for that. And we can tell you it was a combination of Mendiola in goal and Okoronkwo defensively, who caused the chance in the first place for United. And a really compelling day of football across Europe today. A lot of interesting fixtures. If I'm not mistaken, Barcelona currently in action. Important one for them this weekend. Try to keep pace in the top 3. 4-3 match, come back from 3-1 down for Newcastle United in the early game in the Premier League. Chelsea and Burnley play to a surprising 2-2 draw. And of course, that's to say nothing of March Madness and the basketball scene in the U.S. It's been going on for the past couple of weeks, right in the thick of, I believe, the Elite Eight, which starts tonight on the men's side. And if I'm not mistaken, just finishing up the Sweet 16 games for the women. Quite a weekend for sports here and abroad. And well, it's a good weekend so far for SSL. They continue to create chances from the left wing across into the center. Nice first touch to settle! And it's 2! Not even 6 minutes gone, and SSL here at home have unlocked everything. They've got the entire set of keys to this one. 2 goals to the good. And it's just fantastic build-up play. That turn to just advance himself. But this touch, that first touch, is the entire difference of this move between a missed chance and a well-scored chance. It's one that you've got to be pretty astute to notice. But that first touch, it pops in the air. It's got a little bit of air on it. The service does, coming in hot. To be able to take that touch in a controlled fashion, to have that ability, man, it makes all the difference. Top striking. And on top is SSL early on. My goodness, what a way to start. 2-0 again is that scoreline. And the first one maybe a little bit less earned. That second one, certainly can't say it about that one. That's a deserved second goal. Nice finishing, of course, and really good work on that left wing as well. Interesting as well because the formation we were given for the SSL side is a little bit wider in attack. It's kind of a 4-5-1 more or less, maybe the best way to put it. Maybe a 4-3-3 at times as well, and you see how wide they are now. Look at this, options on both sides. They continue to break. It's a great ball out to that right wing. Excellent defending. Looked like Jake Sam out there, and well, he was stopped in his tracks. North Georgia want to go the other way. Ivan Garcia for Sanchez. Sanchez switches to play unsuccessfully, had a barrier to that objective. And, well, a clever dummy from, I believe, Arani Costa, the striker. He just had nobody behind him. Can United come the other direction? Doesn't look like it. SSL right back on the ball. On the left wing, could be Kipumbe out there. And along the goal line, well, that's excellent defending. Not the first time we have said it about the strong center back. Okoronkwa is the first man to make a stop and then fully cleared by Sanchez. North Georgia United now going to have to dig deep a little bit, you feel. Because again, I mean, we haven't even played long enough to feel like we've really been outplayed, certainly not by 2 goals. But that's the situation on the scoreline that we see in front of us. And again, these guys coming from on the road. 2 matches so far, nothing to show for them. Physical, mental, emotional fatigue can all be at play. Looks like a foul. Referee is going to elect to let them play on. He'll do so on the other side as well. You do like to see that from the referee crew. They'd rather just let the boys play. Allow for the result to be determined by the 22 players not wearing blue. Ten minutes gone now, or thereabouts, and it's still that 2-0 scoreline. And, well, in major part, it's because of moments like that, North Georgia just not quite able to get the clearances they need. Oh, that was quite a crack. Too far wide, though, in the end. Probably would have ended up above the crossbar, even had it stayed a bit more central. And we at minute 11, still with that 2-goal advantage. SSL will have to be content with that. More than content, really. For North Georgia, the creativity's there, I think. The attacking intent, execution, especially in passing. Well, and we see another example. It's been lackluster. Here's Ledesma. Plays it long. And immediately back in possession are SSL. And I was going to mention it before one of the goals. Curtailed the opportunity to make that comment. Soccer saves lives is the representation that is accomplished by the acronym. Club located in Clarkston, Georgia, officially. Well known around the Atlanta metro for how diverse that population is. And could it be a chance for 3? Not quite. It was a tasty cross, but came up a bit short. By the way, the referee crew, if you were curious, the ones in blue today. Center referee that's in front of us on the screen, Adonis Meritz, assisted by Ayman Alabsa and Solomon Adeniran. Mary Fernandez is the 4th official, all being assigned by the sole assigner for the UPSL Georgia. It is Brian Marshall. Well, nearing a quarter of an hour the way through this one. Maybe a chance for North Georgia to break. Do they have anything? Well, that's a counter curtailer defensively. SSL swarming the ball early on. Maybe a chance for some linking interpassing, and that's exactly what we'll see from the left wing. A chance to cross, reaches its target. The shot comes in, it's saved. Still danger. And fully cleared away on the second effort. That is heroic defending. A really nice goalkeeping, really, from Mauricio Uribe. Heavy touch, battle for it, and well, the first signs of life, really, for North Georgia in attack. We could have a second here. A shot is blocked. And we really got to think that for Elvin Palacios there, the move might have been to go to Maradiaga. Meanwhile, in the other direction, SSL. They've got nothing on offer either, so inching even a little closer now to 15 minutes gone, and we'll want to bring Larry back in. Thoughts here, Larry, on just this first 15 minutes? Probably a little bit away from the balance with SSL leading 2-0. At the same time, doesn't feel like they don't deserve a lead. 2-0 does feel a little bit fortunate, though.
2-0 definitely feels fortunate for North Georgia United. They've really struggled over the last 2 seasons, losing their main striker, McKinney, and they really haven't found that person to replace him yet.
Yeah, and we've noticed that in these
I should say
opening
McKeever,
15 minutes.
McKeever. Sorry there.
Nah, no worries. But yeah, just lacking that finishing touch. Well, could we see it there? In the area still, and it's clever to keep himself on the ball. A nice layoff as well. Shot comes in, blocked again, and SSL have had all the defensive answers early on. Could we see a break from SSL now? They do get forward quickly. And how about across to the back post? It is well dealt with. Looking at SSL, maybe you're a bit fortunate to be this far ahead, but you do have the 2-goal lead, Larry. Do you change anything? Do you go into this rest of this first half trying to protect what you've maybe been fortunate to land, or do you look for more?
Definitely have to think about it. They went with the 5-3-2. You know, they were going more defensive shape, but they've let the first goal was a mistake by the keeper. Second goal definitely was an SSL goal. So nothing that Coach Jonathan needs to make wholesale changes yet, but he definitely needs to think about helping those 2 strikers on top with a little bit more balls forward for them.
Yeah, it is a bit of a different sort of formation. We mentioned how wide SSL are as they get forward. And for North Georgia, they have those 2 strikers up front. They've got the 5 in the back, as Larry's just mentioned. And there in midfield, it can feel a bit thin. I think at the moment that might be what's causing them issues more than anything. At the same time, just got to tip your hat at a certain point to SSL, the way that they've played. Still very early in this one, of course. So much can change at any level of football, but especially here. UPSL Georgia, this Premier Division, just feels like a breeding ground for wild, wild results. Crazy finishes, nothing certain as of now. SSL would love a third, and they won't get it there. It's well defended on that far side from us. It is sent away for a corner kick, the first one we have this evening. And just out of nothing, it's a nice run out to this left flank. The cross did require some defending. You see that touch there. So we go to our first set piece, really, of any danger of the outing. And a reminder, it is a double header this evening. So you can stick around with us. We'll be here at Shiloh High School once again in Snellville for a projected 7 p.m. kickoff. It'll be Kalanji Pro Profile, the first team, and they'll take on Georgia Athletic, another UPSL Premier Division contest. Busy day here on this Saturday. In comes the first cross of the day in this match, and well, it was inches away, wasn't it, from finding a head on the back post? Nothing doing. That's certainly an opportunity.
And Danny, this is where I really feel bad for North Georgia United with the late scratch of number 7, Emmanuel Lom. He just has a way to be a nuisance for a team like SSL to be able to work down the line. And right now you can see that they're kind of suffering from that.
Yeah, that's right, especially in a 5-back formation. I think a lot can come down to those wing backs and exactly how much quality you can expect from them going forward, how much they can possess the ball and help you advance. They have lacked, I think, that piece at times. And as you mentioned, Emmanuel Lom is not available. He was originally listed in the starting 11, and he was a late replacement. Ivan Garnica came in for him. Where's the number 2? Really This is a team that puts a lot of its talent on those wingback positions. Victor Valencia on the right side, who is in the lineup today, was another guy to watch for that you mentioned to us, Larry. So that side is still occupied with the expected man in that role. Garnica, however, anything but planned to see him in the starting 11. Another throw in to advance to play for SSL, who, again, as a reminder, had not scored in either of their previous two matches, meaning, of course, that these are their first 2 goals on the season in the spring 2024 campaign. This is a nice cross into the middle, and it found its target. Not the best of first touches, though. Top of the box, another poor touch, and North Georgia United will do enough to win the ball back in this instance. And they will attempt to play out of the back once again, even though it has tended to cause them a bit of trouble. Long ball coming in, and well, that's all we'll see. It is an all-important touch coming in from Isaiah Ledesma, and we'll see another corner, this time from the right for the first time this afternoon. 2 corners now for SSL, including this second one to come, and none yet for North Georgia. Larry, plenty of big bodies in there for SSL, a lot of targets to aim at.
Yeah, let's see if they can get a header on that back post. That's what they're going for.
Well, they did have that opportunity. Funny you should mention it. Nobody quite got there, and they went to the same spot again. Once again, it was whiffed on completely. Is there still something to come of this chance, though? Couple of deflections, and United will just about figure it out. Although they will have more defensive pressure invited after they can only get it away for a throw-in. So from this left side, what do SSL potentially have to offer? Clever little dink to advance it towards the corner flag, and, well, another throw will result. 22nd minute here. More or less the midway points of half number 1. And this is a long ball that, well, would have been very, very dangerous had it not been a sweeper keeper sort of play from Uribe in goal. Always a little bit dangerous for a goalkeeper to come quite that far out. He was about at the 30-yard line on the high school football lines out here. The Shiloh Generals, of course, call this stadium home.
And Danny, I'm noticing that North Georgia United, they're able to maintain the channels of the passing lanes on the lines, but they're leaving themselves exposed about 10 yards in, and that's where SSL is finding success.
Yeah, right you are. We'll have to monitor how tactically that middle area of the pitch may shift. An alteration might be needed for North Georgia. We'll see if and how early it does indeed come. Long throw in down the left side in the meantime. And that will touch a stray leg for SSL last. Looks like the same thing again further up the pitch. Textbook throw in, that's why you throw it down the line. And, well, maybe a compelling attacking chance from this next throw. We'll see if a long throw in is in order. It won't be. Crossing possibilities from here, though. Plenty of black shirts around. It won't be made easy for him. And, well, no cross could come in the end. Solid defending. Textbook. Meantime, here come SSL. They love the counter. Well, they don't love that one. It was probably a grounded pass that should have been a lobbed pass instead. Probably ought to have had a lot more power on it as well. Hindsight's 2020, of course. Right wing. Potential for something positive. It is nothing more than a throw for North Georgia. Seems like the right decision. And again, it's a referee crew that's been not necessarily lenient, but here a little bit more on the side of keeping the whistle from being blown. This time, no other choice.
Didn't have a choice there.
That's right. Adonis Merritt again is the center referee. Had to make that one. And could they make it count, North Georgia? Cross comes in on the ground, and it is dealt with properly. We do see a corner, though. No time for replay as they go quickly. Comes right back out. And a throw in. It's a bit hectic for North Georgia. I think that's the way they like it in the attack. They do tend to trust their guys. They've got plenty of pace, plenty of dribbling ability. They would rather just go at you and not let you have a whole lot of time to think about it. And for SSL defensively, it makes a lot of sense that you would try to catch them out. They are big and physical. They have time to analyze and figure things out tactically. Not an easy back line to get behind. We will see another free kick, though, for North Georgia, and, well, just potentially in that shooting range. Yeah, one more time here. Yeah, Larry, I mean, I think a lot of the better free kick takers in the league are going to look at this and feel awfully confident about taking it.
Yes, this is a good one. This one's only 10 yards out of the box. Easy enough space to get it up and down.
Yeah, it's not quite far enough that it feels unlikely. The shot comes in, and, well, it did not come down in time. Not particularly close in the end, despite the opportuneness of the occasion. So we hit 26 minutes, and we still sit with that 2-0 scoreline. The 2 goals scored inside of 6 minutes if you're just joining us for SSL, the Clarkston outfit. Of course, their home venue is right here in Snellville this season. Both cities in the Atlanta metro on the east side of town. And North Georgia, as we mentioned, coming from the north and a little bit west as well. Calhoun, just kind of the first town down, headed towards Atlanta from Dalton, carpet capital of the state. And let's see about this. Could North Georgia lay down some foundation for an equalizer? Well, it won't come here, but the follow-up does hold promise. A corner kick to come. And maybe without the size advantage, they'll have to come up with something a bit more clever, North Georgia. In comes the cross. It's headed to the back post. A solid delivery. Still bouncing around in there. Will it find the back of the net? Not yet. A full clearance. That is excellent defending from SSL, and they will get the ball back as well on a throw-in. Well, that's absolutely the right way to defend a corner kick. You had all kinds of chaos going on, and SSL said, hey, we're not going to have any funny business in here. This one will not stick around, and it won't find the back of the net. So instead of conceding a goal, SSL, which they really could have done in that scenario, they're going to have a chance to go the other direction and try to grab their third. They have had a lot less attacking potency since grabbing their second. Since that 10th, maybe 15th minute or so, it's been almost all action from the visitors wearing pink this evening. And how about this? Well, let's just change the narrative a moment. A shot on target. Well, it should have been on target, I should say. It was left wide, and man, that was a golden opportunity for goal number 3. See it on the replay one more time. It's good build-up play, what we have come to expect in this contest so far from SSL. Oh boy, that is a sitter, as they say. Type of chance missed that tends to hang and linger in an attacker's head, Larry.
Yeah, that's the kind of goal that you're going to think about all the way through this holiday weekend. That should easily be 3-0.
Well, and you want to know what helps you forget missed chances like that, Larry, is a goal afterwards that gives you a better taste in your mouth. That's what he will be hoping for. Shot on target does come in, and that is all it was. A nice sprawling save we'll get to see on the replay. It's kind of out of our picture for a moment. You'll get an idea of where it was heading. And it did require a smart stop from the goalkeeper. Well, Mendiola, well, hasn't he been busy? And he might have more work to do in a very immediate sense. This corner kick, and they've looked for the back post every single time, SSL, and it's been open. Will they go for it again? And this time, can they connect? Cross comes in. It's back post again. And for the third time, it is inches away from doing exactly what it was designed to. Very much a set play on the set piece, off the training ground directly. They've gone to it every time. And you do see the reasoning. Still has yet to yield any goals, though, that sequence. And SSL, of course, 2 goals ahead at the moment. Hard to say they need a good period of play here in these next few minutes, but in order to feel confident and feel like they still have control over this match, aside from the scoreline, I think they're going to want a bit more possession, a bit more control of the proceedings. Here's a ball through that I think was intended as a pass of a lobbed through ball.
I will say, Danny, what I've noticed in the last 20 minutes is a bit of complacency in the SSL defense.
Yeah, it's not quite been the same dominance we had accustomed ourselves to seeing. And I think you could have said the same thing about the attacking third, although in the last couple of minutes, SSL have sprung back to life, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they're starting to take advantage of these open spaces in the midfield that North Georgia are giving them. But this has been kind of the MO so far this season for SSL, is some of this complacency in the back line for them, which is allowing teams to pull away from them. You know, they lost 1-0 last week to Georgia Athletic, which was a mistake by the keeper.
That's right. And well, this time they're on the side of benefiting from a goalkeeper error, as that was kind of a goalkeeper miscommunication with his center back after said center back had already committed a loss of possession in a bad area. Okoronkwo, the CB in question, and Jose Mendiola, of course, the man between the pipes this afternoon. So SSL, instead of the victim, are the benefactor, and that's one of their 2 goals that stand to give them a 2-0 advantage in the 32nd minute of this one. Georgia Athletic, fondly enough, will be in action as well here. They will face Kalanji Pro Profile, an away game for Athletic, who were able to get that win over SSL you just mentioned a week ago, Larry. I'll tell you, that Georgia Athletic team, it is certainly talented. They sit with those 6 points towards the top of the table, and with good reason.
Definitely so. Came in inaugural season in the fall with the Division I, ran away with that title. Now they're here in the Premier Division. We'll see what they can do. The season's only begun.
That's right, so much still to play. Up there with Potros FC leading the way in that group that paces the division so far. And these 2 teams are 2 that would like to work their way up there. Of course, 6 possible points from 2 matches, which Potros and Georgia Athletic both have. These 2, I mean, they're only 2 games back at 0. That's how early we are in the season and how much things can change. Well, and could we see a change to the scoreline here in the meantime? SSL looking to make it 3. Tricky play from the wing, and a committee of defenders in pink are able to get the job done. Mendiola claims, and away they go.
Good work by the defender to close the space.
The switch was on, but not completed. SSL will take their time as they win the ball back. A bit more patient as well from the leaders in this one. Of course, that's easy to understand. Much less urgency for them at the moment. Ball crossed in, top of the box. Won't fall for anybody in black. Away it goes. And what have we got here? Just a stoppage in play. And it looks like maybe a free kick will go North Georgia's way. It ended up being a drop ball, I believe, for whatever reason. No matter. And a fall. It was foul induced. And that will bring us to another free kick. Could we see a card potentially as well? Maybe a bit of a late
We do have
challenge.
first yellow of the match.
There you
Danny.
go. Is opening disciplinary action this afternoon. And again, we wish we could tell you exactly who received that yellow card. By virtue of the fact we don't have any numbers, that would be awfully difficult. So here in minute 35, we'll see a free kick to come, and we've also got the first man on a yellow card today. That is issued to SSL. Of course, they still have the 2-0 lead. The yellow won't damper their opinions on this first 45 too much. And also to their benefit, they deal with the free kick fairly simply. This one's going to hit the referee, and, well, that is always going to result in a drop ball. We can't tell you it's number 96 of SSL. Again, that doesn't help us too much, but just for your further information as a listener, Donis Merritt gets us back underway after issuing his first yellow card of the day. If you're wondering, later on this evening, all four of this four-person crew in blue will stay here and be part of the second part of the doubleheader as well. Although they will be in different positions. How about this? And a new position for North Georgia United. They get themselves one back. And it was a lightning strike. Finished off like it should be. Fantastic finishing. And we've got a 2-1 match, folks. All of a sudden, this one feels very, very open. You see how quickly it happens, Larry. Great stuff.
Great ball forward. Slotted over, and he's got nothing but pure striking zone, and he puts that in the back of the net. 2-1.
That is what you're instructed to do. And he was able to do it. Could not quite identify who that was. Not sure if you were able to see it, Larry. Still awaiting confirmation of the goal scorer, but the score line, we do have a 2-1 ball game in this one so far. And, well, there is confirmation now that it came, well, from somebody who I think we initially had on the bench, number 19, if that's correct, would be Johnny Ramirez. Well, I believe started on the bench. We'll check on that. Meanwhile, another chance, and that one does head right to the gloves of Mauricio Uribe. And, well, I think we've sorted it out. Ended up being number 18. And, well, how about the center back? Obina Okoronkwo. And, well, he'll have maybe some work to do on the other end of things. SSL not content with the recently demoted 1-goal advantage. They would like to restore it to 2 before we hit halftime, of course. And they'll have a chance potentially on this corner. Bring you the replay. And on both sides, this is kind of how attacks develop. Quick possession gains and balls sent down one side or another. It's required some adept defending. And Okoronkwo, debatably the most at fault for the first goal. From a North Georgia perspective, we'll be happy to have scored one on the other end to atone for the mistake. In comes the corner, and well, there were players just behind waiting to put that one into a near empty net. Nice defending from United to keep that from happening. 40th minute now. You saw the idea, just trying to interlink some passes. As it stands, it will still be an SSL throw. Up this right wing, there has been a lot of joy there for the home side here. Another shot comes in, and it needs a sprawling save. It gets one as well. Mendiola was ready. Will he have more to do? It's a clever turnover there. Pressure continues. A shot from distance. It's a decent hit, but away from goal to the left. So SSL, after a flurry of early match goals, well, they not only have yet to score since then, they've conceded one to North Georgia. Will give the visitors a lot of hope. Solid build-up play here, and you almost think there's an argument to continue the build-up rather than let the move end there. Long distance. Low likelihood of scoring from there, that's to be certain. Now they'll try the right side, SSL. Switch of play. The easy way on the grounds. And now across to the back post. Nobody's there. And the cross is less powerful than what was needed, although it was deflected away. A corner kick is next. 52nd minute of this, or sorry, 42nd minute, I should say. Not often you get to the 52nd minute in the first half. Corner to come now. It is played into the center, top of the box. Bit of a different position than the previous corners. Same result, though, no goal. Cleared away with the outside of the boot. Will anybody be able to chase it down in pink? No is the answer. How about this for United? Give away a possession. Could have them in a good position to get forward, potentially grab the equalizer. Solid defending will at the very least delay that prospect. Foul conceded here, and SSL will at least have the time to regroup. They do so, and now can they go the other direction? Sure looks like this is holding plenty of promise. Solid switch. Will it stay in play? It will, and there was enough space. Well, did it? Yeah, looks like it didn't. Had it stayed in bounds there, that would have been quite the backfield to keep it in, and there's plenty of room out there to keep the move going as well. Last couple of minutes, Larry North Georgia will feel happier with this more recent passage of play. They'd like the second goal, but even if they don't get it, they'll feel, I think, the more confident of the two teams going into the halftime team talk.
Well, you can tell that SSL definitely has the pace over North Georgia United. They're just not able to make the connection, as you saw in that last bit of play. But North Georgia United is a team that builds themselves into a match. So, you know, we'll see what Coach Jonathan can do in the second 45.
Well, and you'll have to imagine, Larry, that if SSL are not able to take all 3 points from this one after going up 2-0 so early, Would be a difficult pill to swallow for a team that'll, as it seems right now, need every point it can get.
Especially on a special night like KSA Family Night.
That's right, and those festivities, if I'm not mistaken, are set to kick off here in about 10 minutes or so. I'd imagine more or less when we get to halftime is where family night will officially kick off. But 6 to 8 is when it's family night, and of course, plenty of families involved in Kalangji's program because you've got KSA, Kalangji Soccer Academy, various different clubs of various age levels there in the Atlanta area. Bruno Kalangji at the head of it all. Oh, and this is great football on the right wing. How about this? Maybe a couple more to beat. The touch inside was too far inside. It was claimed defensively. And could North Georgia go away in the other direction? Not quite able to find the space they needed, and hearts and throats all over the place for the visitors as it was nervy work from Jose Mendiola.
But Danny, that was a pure example of a player staying in their position. Not to go to the ball, stay in your position, stay in your zone, receive that pass, clear it out.
Textbook indeed. A foul on the midfield line yields more possession for North Georgia United. We hit the 45-minute even mark, and now all that's left is any additional stoppage time. I don't think there's too much on offer here. Maybe a couple of minutes. It has been more customary over the years to see more and more time put up on that board. Don't think we have a board today, but figuratively speaking. Nice ball, and could this be the third? He's got a wide open net, and he can't finish it. Somehow it's not 3-1. Probably the most likely chance, including the 3 goals that have been scored on the day, and yet no goal to show for it. Here come United the other direction. Sweeper keeper work once again from Uribe. My word, how is it not 3-1? Still trying to process how that one was missed. It was good defending, you could say, but now here come North Georgia. Chance to equalize. That's something we thought we'd be saying 10 minutes ago. The chance does fall short. I mean, Larry, let's go back to this SSL near goal. I mean, you've just got to put it anywhere but where that center back's standing, and striker just couldn't do it.
Definitely so. We'll look at the replay here in just a few moments.
We might have more replay relevant action to bring you. Oh, how about that? Tried the chileno. It didn't quite work out. Would have been an acrobatic goal, one for the highlight reel. Instead, here come SSL. What an end-to-end finish to this first half. We have a well-timed through ball, but just too solid defensively. The vision and the outstretched foot combine to make the defensive task accomplished. More solid passing, great running as well. To the back post! And it's onside, and this one does get dispatched. SSL 3, North Georgia 1. You can't say it isn't deserved. They should have had it about a minute ago, and now they do.
We could see North Georgia United's defense starting to crack a little bit, and you see here as this ball slides all the way across and nobody marking number 90, and it's just an easy tap in for 3-1.
Yeah, it's disappointing defending, you have to say. Got to be able to have somebody on that back post. But going back to the previous chance, I guess it's mostly a moot point now, because you could argue this chance that came shortly after may not have existed had the original goal that should have been 3-1 found its way in. But man, that's the type of goal you really want to finish, whether it really matters or not. Well, SSL will be left to be thankful for their 3-1 lead, but maybe to rue a couple of chances that could have made it more. For North Georgia United, mixed feelings for them as well. A good half of football for about 15 or 20 minutes there, but the bookends were not what they would have desired. 2 goals conceded in the first 6 minutes, and in the final 2, they concede a third. Soccer Saves Lives FC 3, North Georgia United FC 1. That's where we leave you. Halftime coverage is next. You're listening to ASMG TV's live presentation of the USL Georgia Premier Division.
Hey coach, is your game going to be live streamed? Can't find a broadcast partner? I have the solution for you. It's time to contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. The Atlantic Soccer Media Group will provide you with the most extensive live coverage and affordable rates to bring your club's matches to your fans. So they will never miss any of the action.
Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! they go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures.
And bring them along with you as you raise the trophy.
Gentlemen, say it with them. They are the champions.
So what are you waiting for the best and easiest coverage, national exposure, attract sponsors, interact with your fans, work with scouts from around the world? Contact the Atlantic Soccer. Hey coach, is your game going to be live streamed? Can't find a broadcast partner? I have the solution for you. It's time to contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. The Atlantic Soccer Media Group will provide you with the most extensive live coverage and affordable rates to bring your club's matches to your fans. So they will never miss any of the action.
Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! They go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures.
And bring them along with you as you raise the trophy.
Gentlemen, say it with them. They are the champions.
So what are you waiting for the best and easiest coverage, national exposure, attract sponsors, interact with your fans, work with scouts from around the world? Contact the Atlantic Soccer Hey coach, is your game going to be live streamed? Can't find a broadcast partner? I have the solution for you. It's time to contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. The Atlantic Soccer Media Group will provide you with the most extensive live coverage and affordable rates to bring your club's matches to your fans. So they will never miss any of the action.
Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! They go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures.
And bring them along with you as you raise the trophy.
Gentlemen, say it with them. They are the champions.
So what are you waiting for? For the best and easiest coverage, national exposure, attract sponsors, interact with your fans, work with scouts from around the world? Contact the Atlantic Soccer.
"45 minutes down and 45 more to go here from Shiloh High School in Snellville, Georgia. Larry Weaver is the man putting all the strings together, and he's here on color commentary with about 24 million other duties today. We appreciate him. My name's Danny Catula, and second half action is right in front of us. Larry, as you see on the bottom of your screen, 3-1 is the lead here at Charlie Jordan Field for SSL FC over North Georgia United. Feels like a fair result to have SSL in front over the balance of the 45 minutes. But again, we talked about it back when it was 2-0. Maybe the 2-goal advantage, a little bit fortunate for the home side.
Definitely so. You could see that North Georgia United was starting to find their way into the match over the course of those last 20, 25 minutes, and just a big mistake in that back line to let that third goal in. Really had an opportunity there. It could have even have been 4-1. A little bit a little bit of a touch from the soccer gods. But definitely it's on North Georgia United has a long road ahead of them if they want to find themselves back into this match.
Yeah, that's right. It seems like a road, though, that feasibly North Georgia could traverse. It doesn't feel impossible just looking tactically. It's just maybe a shift or two in the way that they played that first half, especially in midfield, that could really make all the difference.
You could really see where the gaps were for North Georgia United going through that match. It's in between, it's those hash lines on the American football side in that midfield. That was where they were allowing SSL to have positive play forward, and that's where I think Coach Jonathan needs to find a solution.
Yeah, and we'll see if he has found one. Still trying to get an idea if that there are any halftime substitutions. None that we know of as of now. Of course, we will check and make sure that's the case. We are just about ready to go with half number 2, and North Georgia United's there in the pink on your screen. They kick off moving from left to right. They're in that Shiloh S logo. The Generals play football here, and we are playing the real football, you could say. Second 45 underway here at UPSL Premier League action from the Georgia Conference. And two teams who come into this game with no points in their first 2 matches. Well, at least one of them will come away with something. For now, SSL will come away with their first win of the year. North Georgia, of course, will be looking to flip that script in the second 45. Once again, Danny Catula with you, talking you through these second 45 minutes. And Larry Weaver will add his insights and ever appreciated analysis. Well, you don't need an analyst to tell you how much space was there down that right side for North Georgia. They would like to use the wings as often as they can. Maybe something that they didn't quite do effectively enough in the first 45. Going down this right side. And it is going to eventually trickle over there. Not the best of clearances, but it is dealt with on the second ball by SSL. And a 50-50 ball falls in their favor as well. Could they try and switch the play? Opportunity for a counter? Not quite. And well, that's about it. I want to say thanks to our sponsors this afternoon, helping bring ASMG TV matches to your screen all season long. Ballistic, primary sponsor of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group this season. Non-pro soccer, provider of all of the tables and statistical leaders you'll see across the season. Images frozen in time, giving you photography from select matches across the entire season of the UPSL here in Georgia. Essential 11 is the official kit provider for North Georgia United. Essential 11, empower, embrace, endure. And though it has been a first 50 minutes to endure, more than to embrace, you'd have to say, for the visitors up to now. Still plenty of work to do, but it's 11 guys out there in pink who certainly can do it. Could this be the first step On the road back, well, it's been excellent defending, just cutting out those passing lanes all afternoon from SSL. It's been a hallmark of their play defensively. Big reason why they lead by 2. On the other end, North Georgia United had some defending to do. They did it effectively. SSL in these sorts of moments just feel that little bit more potent. Just feel like they're much more likely to get onto those 50-50 balls when the crosses, when the long balls come in. It feels like they're always got somebody there. Free kick to come now for SSL, but a fairly clean game. Not too many whistles this afternoon, which is a neutral I think you tend to prefer to see. What could this free kick bring? It's taken short from that right flank. Cross comes in, nothing doing. Second bite at the apple, perhaps. And they continue to patiently work for a chance. The shot will come in, and it's going to bounce through. Unexpected, but gorgeous nonetheless. A long distance delivery becomes a golazo, and it's 4-0 for SSL. The celebrations say it all, Larry. A strange one.
Yeah, take a look at that. Nice rip, and it just kind of bounces right in front of the keeper, and he just doesn't anticipate it, and it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, you're right. And Larry, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a turf surface down there at Shiloh and Snellville, and sometimes that can make the difference. The turf a little more likely to give you a strange bounce as a goalkeeper.
Definitely so. We do have turf here at Charlie Jordan Field, so don't want to blame it too much, but definitely something you have to anticipate.
Yeah, that's right. As a goalkeeper, those are the types of things you've got to be able to analyze before they happen. Not possible in that instance. So we look at a 3-goal advantage, largest one we've had in this entire match. And again, now it's 4 goals on a day for SSL in which they were just hoping to grab one to kick off their 2024 campaign. They had not scored prior to this one. Making up for that across these 90 minutes so far, and the way that they're playing, wouldn't be surprised to see him add another one. Long ball through, it's a bit too much. But this was kind of the space in the match in the first half, Larry, if you recall, where SSL tried to maybe kind of protect their lead more than build on it. Got a bit complacent, I think, in your words, in the attack, and took them a while to kind of recover from that. Nearly. They were made to pay. I think they'll have to be mindful of not repeating that kind of emotional status at this stage.
Well, you know the Kalanji philosophy is you put the foot to the pedal to the metal and you go all out. And they definitely, you've seen over the course of these first 3 games where they take time off in the middle of matches and allow their opponent back into the match. This is a hard battle for North Georgia. This is 2 seasons in a row that they start the season finding themselves at the bottom of the table, and they've got to struggle to find their way out of relegation. Can they do it for a second season in a row? We'll have to see over the course of the next 13 weeks.
Yeah, a lot still to be seen. Corner kick to come in the meantime. Minute 53 for North Georgia. Sent to the center of the area. And that's always a hotbed for goal-related activity. Nothing on this occasion. Will they get another opportunity? And, well, no more iterations of the attacking move. SSL will have possession. And I think we'll start to see this sort of picture. The home side letting a little bit of time bleed out at any opportunity afforded to them. Good a time as any to look at the substitutes available to Osei Twamasi at the helm of SSL today. The Clarkson boys. Carlos Tovar, Kyle Williams, Nino Pierre, George Kabambe, Ahmed Marouf, Daniel Drew and Lamech Phillips are all on the bench available to be brought on. And Larry, we spoke before this one started about the particular promise of having a guy like Phillips on your bench.
Yeah, Phillips is a fantastic player, someone that you would not expect to be on the bench, was one of the main starters for SSL last season. Here we go.
Counter chance, and it's a 2-on-2 if they play it right. Putting defenders on skates, it's gorgeous dribbling. Could a shot come away as a result? Excellent backtracking from midfield. That's exactly what you want your central players to do. North Georgia had all the warning signs activated on that SSL back line. It felt like they'd beat them. But that's the type of tracking back that SSL has done all afternoon. It's worked out fantastically for him. Man, Larry, you thought that was the one to potentially bring some momentum back.
And unfortunately, just uncertainty from the striker combination there. Receives the ball and doesn't really have a path forward, and he doesn't know what to do. Allows that defender to track down the space and to clear it out.
Going back to a guy of Lamech Phillips' quality and experience in this team, a starter most of the way through a season ago, as you mentioned, Larry. It's maybe something that speaks to exactly how much depth that SSL offers this season. Certainly an advantageous position to be in.
And also, SSL going through a situation where some of their star players from last season being called up into the Kalanchi Pro Profile squad, and we'll see them later on in the second match of the night. So definitely having to call upon that academy of Kalanchi Pro Profile or SKSA to fill some of those gaps.
That's right, and of course it is a solid academy, one of the better ones in the area, and of course one of two different academies represented in this Premier Division. And of course you could call on more, but the two most highly touted, perhaps, Atlanta United Academy. Many will know that name, the MLS side. And this one as well, which now has two teams participating. This is potential yellow card territory here. Wasn't as much of a play on the ball, quite so much as it was a deliberate shirt pull. I don't think that we've got a yellow card as a result.
No
Could be a
plastic for
bit of a
that
let
one,
off.
but definitely put on notice.
Right. Sometimes that's enough from a center official to get his point across. As a reminder, it is Soccer Saves Lives here against North Georgia United at 7:30. It'll be Kalanchi Pro Profile hosting Georgia Athletic, this same location on this same evening. And we'll have that contest for you as well coming later. We're smack in the middle here in between these two matches in Snellville of the KSA Family Night here on this Saturday. It's the chance for the Atlanta Youth Soccer Federation to come out and be a part of the proceedings. Halftime shows, I believe, across both matches. Contests as well, concessions. Apparently wings, slushies, cotton candy down there. I wish I could partake myself, Larry. Hopefully they give you enough of a break to go down and grab some wings. Although somehow I doubt that as much as you are involved in this one today. Just leave the camera for a while and see what happens. I wouldn't blame you. What if they have some lemon pepper? That is by far my favorite wing. As it stands, I'm nowhere close to the proceedings in person, but I am eating lemon pepper wings down there in spirit. Of course, plenty of kids out there from AYSF in attendance. Nearing the 60-minute mark in this one, and well, the score bug tells the story. It is 4-1 in favor of SSL. And this is a well-crafted ball out to the right wing, but a slip up in very literal terms will curtail the move. About as good of a placement on a through ball as you're going to see, and acres of space, all made up though after the slip there in the corner flag. That was awfully promising. Just about a half hour to play, and SSL in firm control. With Georgia have felt a little bit deflated, I think, from that most recent concession. The 2-0, 2-1, things felt more or less attainable. The 3-goal deficit at the moment, much less so, I think. Will a shot come from this distance? No, it's a layoff. Now the shot comes in, lasered directly at goal, and the required play is made. Jose Mendiola makes the grab. His clearance not of the highest quality. SSL have it again. Larry, if there is like a way back, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you want to talk about the underlying conversation that we've had throughout today, is when we're talking about academies, it is something that the UPSL is starting to invest in with the introduction of the UPSL Academy system, where you're going to have U13, U15, and U17 starting to debut throughout the UPSL conferences.
That's right, and even at the Premier Division level, we've just seen so much involvement from MLS academies. Of course, right here in our own Georgia conference, Atlanta United, previously mentioned, their academy participates. Had a lot of success as well, but they have never quite made it out and defended for themselves, representing the conference in national
But I think
UPSL playoff play.
that showcases the amount of talent and competition in the UPSL as a whole. You look at St. Louis City Academy that made it all the way to the finals last season, losing to Chiriaco in the finals. A team that just was formed, you know, their MLS squad even just forming in the MLS, and already they find themselves in the Final Four and in the finals.
That's right, the first team to make it that far, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
On a national
no
level.
other academy, MLS academy, has lifted that trophy, and that really showcases the quality of play that's here in the UPSL.
That's right, and kind of an interesting challenge for those younger players as well. You're seeing, I mean, potentially U16, U17 guys, anybody that you have that's kind of that step below in development, maybe in size, your reserve team, which of course now there's MLS Next Pro for that here in the US, the official reserves who are professionals, full-time contracts. You're half step below that. Got some pretty young guys on those rosters, and they get an interesting, kind of unique chance to compete against a lot of full-grown men in many cases. Got some youth being showcased, of course, from sides like these today as well. Here in minute 63, North Georgia United, well, are they going to be allowed to play through this? It looks like they will, and it'll be awfully advantageous. They take the quick free kick. SSL didn't like it. And, well, maybe a little bit of controversy, but for now, the goal stands. Make it 4-2. Could this be game on?
Definitely a crowd of SSL players upset about that opportunity. You see it even faster for us. Quickly taken, and he just puts it in the back of the net, and it's now 4-2.
Now, we've seen a couple goals that should have been scored that were missed. That was not ever going to find itself in that category. It was two attacking players on one, and the one was a goalkeeper. No way could have missed that chance. And, well, the referee has not officially given this goal yet, in the sense that he's going to go have a conversation with, I believe, the fourth official over there, which is Mary Fernandez today.
Yeah,
and they've still got it signed.
Yeah, Mary Fernandez, one of the top officials in the UPSL system.
And what's the decision going to be here? Are they going to move this back? It sure looks like it. Well, and this is interesting because if you're going to bring this back, the only way that you can is to force North Georgia to retake their free kick, unless you have something like offside, which I never saw a flag or anything of that sort. Right now, it looks like SSL have the ball and they're going to try and kick it away. The only reason you would bring this back, Larry, as far as I understand, is to say that North Georgia took it too early. This is actually a dropped ball and it belongs to SSL. That part confuses me.
Agreed. I would think, if anything, you would just retake the free kick.
Right. That's really the only restart that's in the laws of the game that you could go back to. And, well, SSL going to go the other way in the meantime. The clearance botched. North Georgia able to deal with it defensively in the end. But, yeah, I mean, just going back to that, Larry, if there were to have been, because say the referee does allow that quick free kick and he decides, okay, it's legal, but there was some kind of foul there that would make it SSL's ball and disallow the goal. A bit strange, but you could have that. What of any of those options would result in a dropped ball for the goalkeeper?
That would be the only solution that I would see, is if there was a foul committed on.
But that would be a direct free
North
kick,
Georgia,
right?
And then that would be a direct free kick. It wouldn't be a drop ball.
Yeah, I'm struggling to conjure up a situation.
Because at no time did SSL have possession of the ball.
Correct. That's right. That's right. In no moment. And there was nothing like a high kick, for example, that would result in an indirect. Color me confused. In the meantime, it stays 4-1 for SSL. And that second goal, the lifeline, chalked off the board for North Georgia. Changes to bring you that you see on your screen. And we'll be able to tell you those identities for North Georgia. It's just one change. It looks like checking in. It was Carlos Navarro. Couldn't quite get a read on who came out. And two changes for SSL that we will not be able to identify for you. We never did get numbers for their squad. But to confirm for North Georgia, it is the entrance of Carlos Navarro. Have to imagine it's an attacking change to try and just shift the tide here. You almost need the momentum more than anything to start to believe that you could make a 3-goal comeback. Again, if you've recently joined us, they thought they had one back. North Georgia took a quick free kick that caught SSL off guard, and somewhere in that sequence of play, the goal was disallowed, and we are none the wiser as to exactly what that situation was. No particular venom in the complaints, though, from North Georgia after that decision was made to take the goal away. They seem to accept the decision, Larry, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's kind of strange solution and a strange decision, but North Georgia United accepting it, whatever the penalty was.
And you do, of course, appreciate coaching staffs and soccer clubs as a whole that do have that mentality of trying to blame officials and referee decisions less than their own choices. It can be tough to do. I have been a player and a coach at various levels, and when you get a call you don't like, so easy to let those negative emotions bubble. Of course, so difficult, especially at this high of a level, to keep things cool. And, well, it is a 3-1 lead, by the way, in the concurrent match. There was one that kicked off at about the same time as ours. That's over in the very northern portion of the state, maybe 15, 20 minutes south of Chattanooga in Tennessee. It's in Dalton, where Dalton United are ahead of Legends FC. It's a 3-1 score line at the moment. Dalton, I think, will be hoping to find themselves in a higher position. They're in mid-table at the moment, and I think fair to say, Larry, they're one of the teams that has higher aspirations than that this year. 3-1 is a good start to get them back on track. Well, we'll get back to that in a moment because it's another breakaway. Excellent, unselfish layoff and taken down. Do we have a penalty? Sure seems that way. And a golden chance to make it a 5th on the day for SSL. All of a sudden, a free scoring side.
Take another look at this, Danny. You can see SSL with a great break. It's hard for me to say if that's really a penalty or not. Referee was a little behind the ball, but he had a great view of it. He elects to call it a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, from our angle, we're not going to be able to see anything that necessarily invalidates the opinion of the center referee. And, well, the chance is dispatched as you would expect it to be from the spot. It's 5-1 in favor of SSL. Soccer Saves Lives FC. They are in firm control here. Really hard to see anything else than an SSL victory. And, well, that's the cool, collected finish that everybody hopes for when they step up to the spot. And, well, they accomplished it. 5-1, again, the lead.
Well, and I was going to say, Danny, this is the point. 70 minutes into a match, this is where a team that's behind starts to get a little desperate to find something into the back of the net. Now that you're down by 4, your desperation becomes just acceptance.
Yeah, I mean, especially in a match where this is not a cup match, it's not elimination, no playoffs, still, of course, very early in the season. It's one thing to look at a season-ending match and say, well, even if we're down 4, it's just desperation of the highest order. In this case, it's, like you said, mostly acceptance of what we all anticipate is a done deal. 5-1, that current advantage. I can't think of a 5-1 deficit that's been reversed, not even in this division. I remember a few years ago working these ASMG matches with you, Larry, and Andre Bomar, who deserves a shout out as well. Saw a couple of 5-4 results, 6-5s, but I can't say that I've seen a 5-1 restored to 5-5.
Well, you could see in the playoff finals between Atlanta City and Dalton United last season, it was 4-1 late in the match in stoppage time, and Dalton United were able to bring 2 back and end 4-3. But making 4 or 5 goals up, that's a pretty difficult task.
Yeah, I mean, even imagining 4-1 restored to 4-3 is a lot. And of course, that was one less of a deficit to start with, and they didn't quite even complete that comeback. Free kick to come for North Georgia, and it's a decent hit off the wall in the end. Could still be a chance, though, to get forward. Solid pass. Chip to himself. From the right wing. Chance to cross, perhaps. Maradiaga. Nothing doing there. Once again cleared away. But yeah, I mean, to imagine a 4-goal deficit undone. Certainly unlikely, you could say that. And Larry, Atlanta City, one of the more compelling storylines anywhere in the UPSL last year. They were unexpected by many. I think anybody not wearing their jersey would have said they were not their favorite to win the title, and they did not come anywhere close to the regular season title either. Snuck into the playoffs in their early history and were able to make it through a gauntlet of playoff opponents, culminating with that Dalton United match you mentioned. And, well, they made it all the way through. Do we expect to see maybe a back-to-earth season, or is that less of a fluke and more of an expectation of things to come for Atlanta City?
Well, if you were to ask Coach Joao, he would say that's the expectation that you should be used to seeing. You have to give them a lot of credit because they had to win their final regular season match to even make it to the playoffs, as UMA was in that spot. Were able to beat UMA by 1 point. Just hold off there. And then they were able to, in the playoffs, they were able to defeat Kalanji Pro Profile, Atlanta United Academy, and Dalton United, all three top teams to make it to the national playoffs. Of course, losing, had to go on the road all the way to St. Louis, here from Atlanta, to play at St. Louis City Academy, who ended up in second place. So you got to tip your hat to them. They did a lot of good work. And you got to really keep an eye on number 9, Thierry Jules. He was their star player in those matches. He was suspended by the club for last week's match against Dalton. And that is why you didn't see him in the match. And that's why, in my opinion, I think that they kind of fell, because they didn't have Camus Jaden and Thierry Jules both being suspended for club reasons.
Amos Jaden, a name that those who have followed the division will know. He's been around for various teams for various seasons. Nice punch away on the corner in the meantime.
Wasn't
As
that
we've
long
got
ago,
about a
Camus
quarter out
Jaden
left.
was a part of the Kalanji system.
That's right. That's right. He really broke through there and started what's been a really high goal scoring status that he's held ever since. I don't know if we have an overarching historical tally of all-time goal scorers in the division, but it would be my odds-on favorite to be at the top of that list. He scored so many goals for such a long time. Broke through as just a teenager, if I'm not mistaken, and probably now in his early 20s.
Played for FC Matata before going over to Kalanji Pro Profile, then now over to Atlanta City. But he's definitely one of those players that has been a part of the UPSL Georgia Conference since its inception, before when it was the Atlanta Caribbean League.
Yeah, this league, much like Jaden himself, seen a lot of growth over the years. And, well, the growth continues to happen at the Division I level on the women's side of things. More and more teams continue to be added, more and more talents with those teams as well, of course. Right now, the talent wearing black has had the advantage. They just keep coming, don't they? It is that Kalanji mentality you mentioned a while ago, Larry. They just continue to attack when they're at their best. They did have a few more nervy moments, and North Georgia did well to force those. Ever since then, in this second half, North Georgia's had no answer.
Kalanji Pro
77.
Profile, they have the record for most goals scored in one match in the UPSL Georgia Conference, 22 goals.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. As well, that one goes over the near side boundary line. A throw in and a chance to make another substitution. Mary Fernandez, the fourth, will allow it there on your screen, and I'll have to see exactly who that is. Actually, it said earlier that it was Carlos Navarro. I think this is Carlos Navarro coming in, and he is replacing Isaiah Ledesma, center back. I believe the earlier substitution, which we erroneously said was Navarro, I think that was actually Carlos Jimenez. So Jimenez and Navarro on over the course of this second half. The only two changes so far for the visitors. And they continue to throw on more attacking players just to see what they might be able to get out of this result. I do have to say, though, the hourglass is all but up.
And Danny, this is a conversation that we had last week where, and this was an SSL thing, where you're trying, as the game is late in the match and you're trying to catch up and you're taking these free kicks and these set pieces quickly, you're not allowing your teammates to get in position and get prepared, and you're just giving possession right back to your opponent.
It certainly doesn't help the cause of a team coming from behind. And, well, a tackle from behind doesn't yield any mercy from anyone in blue, and North Georgia United will go in the other direction. Interception, and SSL will take their time on the ball Seems like the wise thing to do. Time, of course, on their side in a very big way. Nice little ball lifted through. There's plenty of players to aim for in the middle. Make it 6. SSL just continue what is now an onslaught. It's a downpour of goals on an otherwise sunny afternoon, and it's become awfully dreary for North Georgia United. SSL 6, North Georgia 1.
And this is very tight on the line for offsides, Danny. You can see as this
Really in
ball
a
comes
couple of
through.
instances. That one, I think, is on, and then this next one, just barely behind the ball, according to my view, but two tight ones, like you say, Larry.
It was tight as tight can be, but he was just onside. The AR was right there on the line.
Well, tally another one to the home side. Family night is off to a cracking start. And maybe even that doesn't do it justice. You mentioned 22 goals is the league record for one side in one match. It was set by the team we're about to see here in 45 minutes or so. Kalonji Pro Profile. I don't think SSL is going to reach that sort of number, but it's been a dominant day all the same. Ten minutes left in this encounter. And it looks like just a stray ball off of a hand. It'll lead to a North Georgia free kick. So many important matches across the world today. Mentioned a few of them. There was also Der Klassiker, the German rivalry of all rivalries. Bayern Munich falling 2-0 at home to Borussia Dortmund in a season largely to forget. A day to forget, too, for North Georgia, of course. This 5-goal deficit they've now worked up. Been really good football from SSL. They have kept their foot on the gas, played solid, no overwhelming mistakes, and well, North Georgia have certainly made their share of those and been made to pay for it. 2 more changes in the meantime.
At this point, Danny, Coach Jonathan is just clearing the bench, get guys on for 10 minutes of playtime.
Right. I mean, you might as well give them the experience. And there is a lot of talent on that bench. On the ball now with potentially his left foot is Leonardo Adrianza, midfielder. He will leave it. His cross is hit into the wall. And there's black shirts everywhere swarming to get it. They're going on the counter once again. There continue to be just acres of space as North Georgia leave a lot of players committed to the forward lines. Not a whole lot of point in sitting back and defending at this stage. From the left wing, chance to cross. You saw the idea. Execution not quite there. Long ball through and well defended. Solid play back to the goalkeeper. And Diola. And North Georgia getting their defensive duties done. Jimenez. Sanchez. Ramos out to the left wing and good enough of a pass, but not able to be shielded and controlled fully. Cleared away. United will try again.
And Danny, this is where a player's mental fortitude is going to be put on the test and challenged. North Georgia United, it's now 25% of this season is over. You have no points to show for it. You're at the bottom of the table. You're traveling at sometimes 2.5 hours to these matches. You're not getting the results that you need, but you need to be able to push through and have the will to find the way to get some points.
Another potential chance for SSL is thwarted. And like you say, Larry, it's one of those situations where if you don't keep the cycle from repeating, it could have a lot of implications on where North Georgia will play next season in terms of division alignments. Of course, this is one of a few conferences in UPSL where there's enough teams to have a Division One, where relegation does connect the two levels. The Premier Division sides here, which we mentioned in the open, came in those bottom two places. This one will be more than enough to send SSL to safety early on. North Georgia will be rooted to the bottom of the table. No wins from their first three. Another change, we'll see number 90 come off there within your picture. Well, 5 more to play, Larry, plus any stoppage. Unless we see a goal a minute, this is going to be an SSL victory and a resounding one. Man, this will do a lot for their confidence.
Definitely so. This definitely gets their season back on track where they need to be. Remember, all you got to do is get to the 7th spot to make it into the playoffs. They watched last season Atlanta City make it all the way in the 7th spot, so anything is possible. Once you hit that playoffs, everything resets.
And that does have to hurt to a degree to watch the team that took your place in the playoffs just at the last moment go on and have so much success, thinking, well, that could have been us. Hoping to give themselves something better with which to remember the 2024 spring season. UPSL seasons divided up much like they are in Latin America. You've got a spring and fall calendar. The only difference being that spring and fall champions per year do not meet for an overall yearly champion like you would see in Liga MX, for example, in Mexico, Liga Promérica in Costa Rica, many in South America as well. They're just one-off champions every biannual competition. UPSL with all of their divisions and conferences at the regional level, and eventually they meet up for national play. "87 minutes gone. 3 left to burn." Challenge comes in. That's going to be a free kick in favor of North Georgia. And we'll see a yellow card as well. The one thing you've got to make sure you avoid, Larry, is this, the potential of a red card or somebody being suspended for a future match, any type of stuff off the ball. You just want to stay composed. That'll be the goal here.
Definitely so. The SSL player was confident in that tackle, but definitely had to be careful. Only got a yellow, which was a fair result, but you do not want to find yourself with a red card. Not only you're suspended, but it's going to hit the pocketbook as well.
That's right. These guys are not full-time professionals. They've got work. They've got full-time jobs in many cases. Some are students. That's a fine that maybe hurts a little bit more than the ones you see in MLS and the Premier League. Minute 89 here. And not a bad idea. Good vision to send this one through. But the keeper claims it, as he has so often this evening. Jose Mendiola has conceded 6, but he's been active. Had a lot to do all evening long. A chance for 2 on the other end, and a stop on that side as well. Mauricio Uribe equal to the efforts.
At least it's something positive out of the course of these last few minutes, Danny.
Yeah, that's kind of the stage that North Georgia is at. Just looking for some sort of positivity, some vein of promise to exploit leading into future matches. And, well, they'll have to do a detailed search with this outing. Much easier to find positive takeaways in the first half. Since that halftime whistle, it's been much fewer and further between those positive occasions. Ball given away. Sanchez's pass wasn't quite good enough. The ball through the middle. And could it be another one? Sidestepping the keeper and dispatching number 7. Yes, indeed. They just keep on scoring. SSL having a field day, and no one is bothering to stop them. A 6-goal advantage. How about this for SSL? A rousing success.
And not an easy goal to do there, Danny. He had to stop and to push that through with the back heel in. Feel bad for North Georgia.
Yeah, not their day. How much is certain? For SSL, though, they will revel in all the joy that North Georgia leaves behind. I think you can look at it as a zero-sum game sometimes in this sport. Whatever pluses you take away from a match, your opponents see them as minuses, of course. That's how the sport tends to go. Goes for individual matches, for season standings, sometimes even between players of the same team competing for places in the team. And, well,
This is going to give North Georgia a -8 goal differential.
and that's something else to keep in mind for SSL if they do end up being dragged back in to this relegation conversation. They will have this sort of result buoying them in that goal differential category. First tiebreaker, of course, in the standings. And for North Georgia United, it will be a detriment against teams of their stature and standings position. 6-goal swing will certainly not help. Could they potentially get one back here? Well, a shot will come in. It is claimed fairly simply in the end from Uribe. And he's got it now. He will pick it up. Well, football can be complicated at times, but this result fairly simple, Larry. It's a day in which one team was much better, and they'll get the result that's warranted.
It's going to be a long drive back to Calhoun.
It is.
From Snellville to think about this match and get ready for next week.
It would have been long in any case. A lot of spring break traffic this weekend, and they'll have to go really right through the center of the city. They'll have to really dig deep into the center of their souls as well to try and find something over the course of the matches that remain.
Next week, North Georgia will be home to Atlanta City FC. So see if they can get a positive result at Riverbend Park.
That is their home venue this season, Riverbend. And, well, we mentioned Atlanta City, defending champions, but they've got momentum of their own to build. Well, it wasn't the day that North Georgia United were hoping for, but the home side here in Snellville will be quite pleased. 7-1 is the final scoreline, resounding victory and a complete success for SSL FC, kicking off the doubleheader here at Shiloh High School in a very big way. Well, folks, we've got the second game of our doubleheader coming up next. Larry Weaver, appreciate you being with us on color commentary and bringing us through our opening. And well, we're going to do it all again. 90 more minutes. We'll see Kalangji Pro Profile as the hosts right here in Snellville as they will take on Georgia Athletic, who have taken 6 points from 6 possible. That's coming up next. Until then, my name is Danny Catula saying thank you for being with us. And we'll see you next time on ASMG TV. Bye, guys. Be blessed.
This has been a presentation of the UPSL. Any use of this broadcast without the written consent of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group is prohibited.